Hello, everybody. Testing 1, 2. Yabba dabba doo. Okay, so today is November 27th, 2:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here we are in the analytics dashboard. Right here, when you join, got 3 asset classes that we watch. First, I want to show you what's going on in the markets. We have another bloodbath day. Things have turned. But just barely. Russell's down, crude oil's down, gold is down, VIX is even down. We won't worry about the forex pairs. Bitcoin is still down. So not much to work with, but we like to work with things that outperform. First thing we like to look at is crypto. Let's see what's going on in the world of crypto. Now, we have our system generated here. Just so you know, I have now got the ability. I'll be removing all of the online charts here. They're just, the synchronization of them is really hard unless you want to do everything in JavaScript, but forget all that nerdy stuff. But what you can do now is you can download everything, fresh data right here. It pops into your email. Download the link and I'll give you the zip file, which is quite detailed. So this is one sample here. This is fairly new, 5 minutes old. I have added two new charts. I can easily go into looking at further detail, but for these type of videos, I'm just going to look at the volume and movers, as I like to call them. Just want to show you that things are not so bad in the world of crypto. If I can just find, okay, here's the first one right here. FX bar hourly profit PNG. FX bar HR profit.png. Okay, so we can preview it here on Mac or whatever. But here's the thing. Am I in the right? No. I'm in the wrong directory here. This is what we can get. But the next one we want to look at is crypto. Where are you? Crypto most profitable. We have an hourly. If I can find it, so many little. I'll be doing a complete walkthrough tour of this in another video. I know it's in here. Okay, we have volume. We'll look at that in a minute. Yeah, this always helps. Sort it by. So we want crypto. Here we go. This is what I want. Sorry about the delay. Okay, so first, top 10 movers. Things are wobbly in the world of Bitcoin, as you know. As we predicted yesterday, we have Bitcoin Gold up, Litecoin BTC up, BTG, Bitcoin against Ethereum up, Litecoin, Ethereum. And these are hourly movers again, over 6%. That's pretty sweet. We also have SiaCoin, 4.2%, Nano, which was the same as yesterday, and SiaCoin again, 2.0%. We also talked about Nano, Dash, Ethereum. All right, so we know that these were bubbling under yesterday, and now they're the top performers today. So that's hint number 1. Funny thing is, when you look at these, if I can find my volume here, here we go, this is what I'm looking for. Now, again, remember, this data comes in from Binance. When you look at the volume here, we have the SiaCoin is over 90% volume on Binance, but yet Bitcoin Gold gets tiny amount of love. Bitcoin Ethereum gets literally no love, and all the other ones, like not even 1% of volume. But SiaCoin is getting that. So it comes back to terms of fills on these particular crypto pairs outside of SiaCoin. even though SiaCoin's been doing fairly well. So that's crypto. It's not so bad when you look at it. Just going to forex now, and again, forex and CFDs come from Oanda. If you have not seen my my forex compare video I put up on Saturday, I will tell you that Oanda dominates the global market as a broker, and that says something. It obliterates even the world of interactive brokers. Not saying that Oanda is my favorite broker, but in terms of volume, it's there if you want it. So once again, let's check out our forex hourly pair on our movers here. What do we have? So here's our movers that we were predicting. Now here's the funny thing. We talked about yesterday the Scandinavian USD Norwegian Corona or Krona. I always get the two confused. It's up 0.87%. Turkey and Japan 1.54. This one we talked about yesterday. USD and Huff 1.62. This one I didn't see coming, but as Asia approaches from 2:35 to 4 or 5 o'clock, you'll start to see some of the Asian pairs come about. But there's something definitely going on with the Euro Huff. Okay? And we always want to make sure we check our what we call our what do you call them? Not drawdowns, the whipsaws. If I can find it, if it's on here. Looks like I have to add it for the forex. So rank we have spread cost, we have stop loss. Okay, so we have our candles. Now I'm going to talk about candles in a minute. We don't have our whipsaws on here. That's fine. We'll add it. So we want to make sure, and no different than any other asset class like crypto, we need to track our whipsaws and see if there have been whipsaws for the last 6 hours before we take a trade on a particular pair. That's going to save you a very high probability of cashola. And the other thing I'm now paying attention to are the patterns, basically the alerts. So for example here, and remember I'll be removing these charts here, these guys right here, the alerts, they say a lot on, we have over 2,000 entries. And you can pretty well figure out where things may go for the USD Norwegian. So here, things may get bearish. As you can see, we have a lot of bearish harmonics here. Different butterfly, Gartley, crab. I don't particularly pay a lot of attention to the harmonics, but it will give you an idea of which way we go in here. We go in bullish, bearish. As you can see, we have both. I still have to investigate this more, but this is just one way to confirm. But the one I would really like to pay attention to are candle patterns. As you can see here, we have candle patterns, and we have a bullish, and we have a bearish, and two bearish, and one bullish. Now, time makes a difference too, and I will tell you, we need to figure out, and I need to add, once again, it's just all about finessing as I see things. I need to add in the time period for these signals. So I'm going to do that because, for instance, you can see here, the times are identical, which is fine, but which time pattern is generating a bearish, or which time signal or candle pattern is generating bullish. So I have to identify that. But these really help. But again, I have talked about this. For an absolute killer opportunity, if I type in, oh, here's our whipsaws. So the only whipsaw we have over the last 6 hours, 2 hours ago, was the TRY Japan Yen. So we have that, and that's good because that means that's things super volatile. But the other ones may be good enough for putting on positions because they're not so volatile on the downside. So when you factor in these charts, These are really helpful. Clearly see we have an upward move, a little bit of a flat move, and right here it comes down. I'll just blow this up. Now again, I'll be removing this from the online part because it's hard to track this, but at least you get an idea of how this particular pair, the US Huff, is tracking. We have a bit of a, and this is hourly, we have a bit of a downtrend here, but consistently it's proving itself until the last 2 hours. So once you start to see these two and here, I began a little nervous if you put on those positions. And you can clearly hear on the RSI, and this is why I really like RSI, because it distinctly tells you when the early warning signs are coming. Here we can tell on the hourly basis that right here, you can see it just in the charts, momentum is dropping off because it is above, and it's very strong actually, above 2. And it's starting to quickly approach 0. So as that momentum dries up, literally, so will the volume. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours before it starts to taper. These are the sort of trends you want to look for. No machine, well, you could probably use machine language, but machine language is just a buzzword. It's just basically simple computer logic that you're looking for particular patterns that you can use that will tell you that things will be turning. So here we can clearly see with the RSI, it's over 70. And just right here, we can tell that it's dropping. But here, you probably can tell on the 24th right here, just by this candle, you can classically say, I think this is now going to turn, get out, because that's probably the getting out is good. You might eke a few pennies in profit. Not worth it if you ask me to take on that risk, because you're always dealing with probability. Get out and then let the, and you actually have a few hours to get out, as those orders hopefully will get filled over that time period. And that's one of the things that I always look for is as a broker's Oanda, that you have enough volume to get you out of these potentially bad trades, which in this case was 9 hours before it did turn. So these are examples. So once again here, you can slowly see things are dipping, and they have dipped below 0, and all of a sudden we have just a sudden rise in volume. And usually a nice thing about my kind of strategy, if you're using very simple indicators like RSI, and in my case rate of change, which will measure the rate of volume and the speed of change. This is very critical, because it's the volume and speed of change that will determine, as more people, as more algos jump in and see that opportunity to drive up the price. And that's what we're looking for. We're able to measure that. You can see here, something happened here, and the wicks alone show we're moving up, and boom, here's a nice bar for you to work with. So that's what I'm looking for as particular. But that's the really minutia of it. But when you look at the overall trend in terms of capital deployment, what we're looking for here is, I've been saying this for about a week now, that the Huff, and specifically the Norwegian, is a defense play. When the markets have turned, right now, this is what people are piling into. This one does well, but it has too many, not just the spread, and I can pull up the chart if I knew which particular chart of the spread. This one is obviously got too many whipsaws against you, and I would not take that trade, as I hinted here. So when you look at the spread cost, again, I'll be removing these, but this works in our favor today. Right here, you can see the spread. The spread tightens up as the volume drives up. Sorry, as the price is driven up, and then as the price comes back down, the momentum comes back down, the spread widens again, and it gets costly to trade, because I bet you if I look at that volume, it's pretty strong. But you can clearly see another factor that makes the difference here is the volume. And that's why I know that the Norwegian is a classic defense play, because this right here is telling you that's what people are doing as a defense mechanism. Okay, so that's really important to see that. Now, a lot of people say CFDs are no good. I beg to differ. These are good indicators of what's happening in the world of where things may go. Really, the best one is the is options and futures market. But you can see here that all of a sudden, because let me just refresh this, where it was down, the markets are starting to improve a little bit. So obviously, this performance chart changes. As you can see here, as the top performers. This one's been doing pretty good. This one's been very consistent. If I was to look at this chart, well, let me look at let's see if we have the whipsaws here. So you can see here what to take, what not to take in terms of whipsaws. Last whipsaw was at 12 o'clock. In this case, our last whipsaw was at 7:22 Japan. And we don't see Hong Kong on there, the Hong Kong 30. Now, I don't know if that's because the volume's not there yet, as the Asian markets are not quite active, but they should get active in the next half hour to 45 minutes. So 3:30 my time, which I'm Eastern Standard, same as New York. So these are the sort of things that we look for. Now, let's see what other performers we got here. So we have the U.S. markets, which I talked about yesterday. These are definitely overvalued when you look at the Fibonacci's. This one, This one's up there as well. I'm quite shocked at the UK 10-year gilt bond. You're not getting a lot of performance, but the key, once again, is we need to look at the hourly chart, see if what we have here. Okay, we can't really do that. One thing I forgot to mention is oil. Oil. Oops. This is another give me right here. Oil, because it's been dropping so much to short, and you can clearly see here it's been on a downtrend, and that's a good thing. Our natural gas has just been way too volatile to take, and about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, it was doing really well. Same with sugar, was another one. So if the markets do turn, those are the ones I'd be looking at. Also, let's check out the general volume charts of the CFD. So I got to go through the Easter egg again. Here's our current. Now I generated this about an hour previous to this, so it may be different, but we can still figure stuff out. So you can see here, the WTI was up, NASDAQ is up. This one is consistent. Sorry, this one here, the ratio silver and gold. This one, gold. If you're going to play gold as a defensive play, this would be the one I'd be in. Seems to perform slightly better. This one's not bad as well, the UK 100. And the markets are good. This one's the performer here, I guess, because it's the FANGs, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Deutsche 30 can be better, but in this case, it's not doing us any favor. Let's check out the volume here. So where's our volume at? Oh, it's evenly split. Here's our top performer right now is the NASDAQ. Here's another one, the gold from earlier when the markets were down. This one's slightly lower. Interesting. All right, so let me see. I want to show some of the fibs here. Guess we don't have them. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Oh, here we go. Here's the fibs. Let me see if I can pull up the right one. Okay, so you can see gold, this ratio here, clearly overvalued. Once again, anything US 30, overvalued. This one's not bad. That's why, oh, that's gold. So it's undervalued. But I think if there's a panic with gold against US dollar, you will see this spike. And it's valued quite nicely, but it's kind of going nowhere. But you would have to really tightly watch what's going on in the markets to play that. This one, NASDAQ, it's still overvalued. We need to get it down here between the purple and the green. And historically, it's just too overvalued. The Deutsche, it's just too tight. Not a lot of movement here. I mean, yeah. So that's what's happening. And if you want my opinion, my opinion, this is hard to say because forex is doing well. Let's put it this way: I'd definitely be watching. I'd be definitely watching. Let me just go back to forex because that's what I want. I want to show you. I think there's some predictability here, and that's not forever. This is just currently. When you look at the forex, I'm going to tell you, if I was a betting guy, I'd be lining up right here, just following this. The volume says it. That's what everybody's doing. When the markets go bad in the world of forex, this is where I'd be playing. If you ever want to play timing around now, you know, the Asian currencies are interesting, but I don't know which one. It changes all the time. But definitely, this is the one I'd be focusing on. Huff, interesting, but it changes all the time. And again, I can go through the harmonics, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that's the one I'd be putting money down. Now, the other one I think is, now again, I'm looking for predictability here, is I'm going to follow the same suit and logic with crypto. Our current top performer is Sia. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna download the latest batch of these, or should I? No, I won't do it. Okay. Oh, I can do it through here. Okay, so you can clearly see where the volume is. Sia has the most volume right now. Sia Bitcoin. This right here, with XRP with a hype on it, people aren't doing too good there. Cardano is the same one, but look how far down it is. Let me just check on the volume here, see which. This is too volatile, that's too volatile. This, I'm not a big fan of this, not a big fan of this. But I'll tell you, crypto changes so fast. Let's see what okay, this is again really important. So we're at 254. These whipsaws matter. See, here we have SIA as a last bad whipsaw right here at 1221. See if there's anything. So SiaCoin Bitcoin is not on this list. This is one of the big determinations if I'll take a trade or not. So right now, SIA against Bitcoin seems to be the one to put money in. That's what I'd be doing, for sure. Looking at the hourly change, you can see here it's not on a whipsaw list, which is good. And it's up 4.2%. And it's got the volume behind it as well. So that's probably what I'd do. Currently, I'd be watching the markets, lining up potentially USD against the Norwegian for forex, closely watching the SIA, looking for any whipsaws that this brings. But I'd be loading up here. And right now on the CFD side, as we move into the Asian markets, let's just see what's going on here, just as a predictability. I would like to turn around and say NASDAQ, gold, but this one I always seems to come up. I'm going to check my whipsaws. See, Hong Kong has not seen any whipsaws, but again, that depends if there's been enough volume, which I don't think there is a lot of volume. Actually, there is a lot of volume. That's shocking. Okay, so there you go. This right here should do okay throughout the next trading session. Hong Kong 33. All right. The next best one out of that is this one here. I've been tracking this one too. The volume's not great. Performance is somewhat decent. UK 10-year bond. Let's see the whipsaws. No whipsaws there either. There are no alerts at all. But that's probably what I'll lead into a little bit. Is definitely Hong Kong 33 loading up right now, let's say. And maybe the UK 10-year blend. British pounds. Very interesting. But once I get the orders going live, I'll be working on the portfolio deployment. Also, don't forget that once we get to that point, we also have our stop loss take profit. Now, this is very key about Oanda. Do not ever, ever, ever signal back to the broker with a hard stop loss, meaning you put in your API or your platform signaling back to Oanda, your take profit. You're basically telling them, this is where I anticipate my profit. Not saying they'll do this, but if they did, you would probably lose not reaching that target on the stop loss or take profit level. That's why you want to do it virtually, and you should be okay. But we'll know as we get into the live trading amount, because as I said, with this for the last couple of weeks, specifically with Oanda, the goal has been to test, looking for trends, and more importantly, looking for predictability. Now that I have the predictability maybe figured out, maybe it might not be a top performer, but what we're really looking for are those whipsaws. Has there been whipsaws in the last 6 hours? And that's what these are for, to log those. So that's really important. All right, so I'm going to close it out there, and we shall talk to you soon, and maybe I might do another one later on. Bye.